everyone, it's Valerie from Gaia Geckos, and we have Bronx with us today because we are going to be filming a video on gargoyle geckos, one of my favorites. So just to disclose, I am not calling myself an expert with gargoyle geckos. Today the information that I'm going to be sharing with you guys is how Josh and I care for our gargoyle geckos. So everybody in the reptile world does stuff a little bit differently, and that's okay. There's not one size fits all care. As long as you're not doing it completely wrong, then you're fine. You're just fine. Okay, so really quick, we're just going to go over some of the most frequently asked questions that I get about gargoyle geckos, and then we're also going to talk about the care for them. I'm going to do this as fast as I can so that I could show you guys all of the cages and the animals. So let's get this done real quick. So the first question that I was asked is, where do gargoyle geckos come from? And they come from a series of islands known as New Caledonia. The island is super, super pretty. There's tons of trees. It's really tropical. It's surrounded by an ocean. So if you think about it, it's a place that your boyfriend or girlfriend should take you to if they actually love you, because then they would take you somewhere that's awesome and you would get to hang out with geckos. That was my joke of the day. Hope you liked it. Okay, so then the next question that I get is, are they hard to care for? And this question, it's not hard to answer. I would say no, but it's up to the individual, because you are going to have to do research and you're going to have to know about the animal before you buy it. That's just common sense. Don't buy a dog if you don't know anything about dogs or cats or anything like that. Don't buy a gecko if you don't know anything about them. So do the right, he's making me nervous. Do the right research, know about having the proper enclosure for them, what their temperature should be, humidity levels, their diet. If you do the right research, then they're really easy to care for and they're going to live a long, happy life, and then you're going to be a happy owner. So it's pretty much just awesome. So then the next thing is, people always ask me, well, what size enclosure do I get? And I'm like, well, I don't know. How big is it? Because I'm not going to tell you to put a hatchling into a 20-gallon. It just doesn't make sense. So how Josh and I do all of our enclosures is based on their weights. And we use a bunch of bins as a mechanism of growing out, and it works really well. A lot of other breeders do it. So with that being said, tiny hatchling babies, they're going to go into a 2.5 quart bin, and then once they start eating and they get to about 5 grams, we put them in a 5.5 quart bin. They're going to continue to grow, obviously, and once they get to about 12 grams, we put them into a 20 quart bin. They're going to live there until they either get sold or they get up to about 30 grams. And once they're at about 30 grams, we put them into a 20-gallon aquarium that we put vertically because they do like height. And they will live there for the rest of their life. So it's super, super easy. And the next thing that we are going to talk about is how to decorate the enclosure. So when you do the enclosure, we always use paper towel for the floor. It's sanitary, it's easy to clean, and it's just super simple. We line all of the walls with leaves that we buy from a pet store, and we found that if you buy stuff online, it's cheaper than going to the actual store. So if you go to like a Petco or PetSmart online, it's going to be a little bit cheaper. Just get it shipped to your house. It's super great. A lot of the expos too, if you have an animal expo by you or a reptile expo, then you could find plants there that are cheap. There's a lot of other ways to do it. Hold on, I have to shut the dogs up. But most importantly, you just want to make sure that you don't over-clutter their enclosure. Leave the ground open. That way they could find their food and their water. The next thing we'll talk about is temps, and you want to keep a thermometer close to your gargoyle's cage. That way you know what the temperature is in the room. So in the winter, it should be around 70 to 72 degrees, and then in the spring and summer, during the breeding season, you're going to want it warmer. They like it at about 80 to 85 degrees. So if your room is cooler, you can warm up their enclosure by using a low wattage heat lamp, and it works really good for us. Otherwise, you can get a ceramic heat emitter, put it by the cage, and you're warming it up for them. So yeah, that's about it for the temperature. With feeding, we feed Pangea, and they like it the best. They don't really care for Repashy, and Josh and I don't really care for it either, but like I said, it's a personal preference. How we do it is not how you guys have to do it, so I don't know, we just feed Pangea. So we feed the bug flavor, and then we also feed the watermelon flavor, and they absolutely love it. Something that Josh and I also do that a lot of people may not do is we put spirulina into all of our gecko food. So spirulina is actually made for people. That's something that a lot of health fanatics use. And it's a greens-based powder supplement, and we actually put that in the Pangea mixture in our blender bottle, and then we add the water, we shake it all up, and they clean their bowls every night. And our gargoyles and all of our other animals, they're all super healthy and plump, and they grow super fast. Spirulina is awesome. So if you guys have the extra cash laying around and you want to just go pick some up, I would really recommend it because I have nothing but awesome things to say about it. It's great. We buy it off Amazon in bulk, so it's a little bit cheaper. If you're buying it in a smaller quantity at a health food store, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, so check online first if you can. Something that drives me nuts is when people say to feed baby food to the gargoyle geckos or any other gecko. Don't feed baby food, okay? Like, would you feed your baby gecko food? No. So buy the actual food that is made for them, okay? They didn't design baby food for animals. That information, when I see it on care sheets, makes me want to punch myself repeatedly in the face, okay? And it's sad that a lot of people believe that because then their animals get sick. The last thing that we'll talk about is feeding bugs. We do feed bugs 1 to 2 times per week. We feed them crickets or roaches. We dust everything in calcium with D3 on it, and we also get that at one of the pet stores by us. And lastly, humidity. Josh and I's reptile room is about 50% humidity all the time. So when we spray our geckos, it goes up to about 90% humidity. And then throughout the day, as the enclosure dries out, it'll go to 70% humidity, and then it falls back down to the 50 where it remains. Josh and I, we spray and we feed every other night. So we keep a water bowl in every single enclosure. That way, if we didn't spray that night and they're thirsty, they can go drink out of the water bowl. And trust me, they do drink out of the water bowl. So always, 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 even if you spray every night, keep a water bowl in the enclosure. All right, Bronx, go back home. So this is where Bronx and Dahlia live. We have them in a 20-gallon that we have vertically. And in their enclosure, we lined all of the walls with plants. They also have, and I know it's kind of hard to see because it's green, everything in there is green, but right here we have a hammock. And then there's also cork that we put in the enclosure for them to climb on. There's Dahlia's sleigh box, and then we have their water bowl and their Pangea cup. So this is Josh's gargoyle gecko enclosure. It's an Exoterra 18 by 18 by 24. And in this enclosure, he has a bunch of sticks, bamboo, and he has plants lining the walls for them to climb in. He has a lay box, his water, and Pangea bowl. So just like gargoyles like vertical things to hide in, they also like horizontal as well. So Josh always incorporates some sort of horizontal piece in the gargoyle gecko's enclosure. And, well, at least in this one he did. I shouldn't say always, but his female is right here. So let me take her out. This is Gemma. She's super pretty, and she consistently lays for us. So she's really nice. Hi, say hi. They can't talk, but I just pretend like all of my animals can talk sometimes. Alright, ready? I gotta put you back, but you don't want to go back. Alright, I'm gonna grab her mail 1 second. And this is Jinx. He is seriously one of my absolute favorites. This is one of Dahlia and Bronx's babies. She's super pretty, as you can see. I don't really put her on Instagram a lot. I'm such a nice girlfriend, and Josh has helped me out so much with all of my reptiles, so I told him that if I produced anything that he wanted to keep, let me know and it will be all his. So he actually chose to keep her, and he's going to use her for a future breeding project with his pair. So, many of you guys might ask why her name is Stinker, and it's because when she hatched out of the egg, she was literally psychotic. Like, she would not sit still, she would not go into her enclosure. Every time she sprayed, she would jump out of it, and I was always saying, oh my gosh, you little stinker, get back in the cage. And so, we just called her Stinker, and now her name's stuck, and I told Josh, you can change her name if you want, because you know, when you're breeding, you're going to have to say that the pair is Stinker times Jinx. And he was like, no, I like the name Stinker. So she's our little Stinker. She's really cool. Okay, so Beetlejuice is the smallest gargoyle gecko that we have. We got him pretty much as a hatchling from Pangea, and he did not have a tail when we got him, so his tail, he's quick, is growing back really, really nicely. He's really skittish, so I'll have to make another video on taming. Clearly, he can be my example. But he is in a 5-quart bin right now. So in his bin, whoa, we just have cork pieces that are vertical, and then we also have horizontal pieces like the vine, and then we have some plants in there. And here is the moment that you have all been waiting for. It is Inferno! That didn't go as good as I thought, but I tried. Okay, let me grab him out really quick. Hold on. Here's Inferno. So he's completely fired down right now, and he is a pink-based gargoyle, which is super cool. When he fires up, you guys see that he gets fire engine red. He's just the prettiest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. And true story, when he was a baby, I thought he was ugly, and I was almost about to trade him for a lychee. And man, I'm glad that I did not, because I did not think that he was going to be this awesome. Sorry, the lighting in here is kind of weird today, but I love him, and he's my favorite. Don't tell any of the others. They'll get jealous. So once again, I just wanted to thank all of you guys for watching the video. I hope you liked it. I hope some of the information was useful. I hope that it was entertaining and I didn't make you feel like you were going to fall asleep. I hope you liked our enclosures, and I hope you liked Inferno. I mean, who doesn't like Inferno? He is smoking. So the next video that I'm going to make is how I take all of my images for Instagram. I have a light box, so I'm going to show you the light box, and then I'm going to show you the different props and how I position the geckos. Many of you guys will think it's goofy because all of my friends make fun of me for it, but hey, it's kind of interesting, so if you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't watch it, but I'll let you guys know when that one's posted on Instagram and on Snapchat. So I will talk to all of you guys later, and if you have any questions or comments, drop one below or DM us on Instagram. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye! Wait, look, Zaria's out basking. Zaria, say hi. You weren't out last time when we made the video. He says hi.